Here. Putting this on the Twitter. All right. It's public. It is Sunday, August 20th, 2017. And we are on the YouTube. Let's put a little more light on there. A little more light. So everyone can see the beautiful gloriousness of the YouTube. Well, let me know if you're here, everybody. I'm going to write a hello into the thing. And currently it says nobody watching. Let me know if you can hear me and what the stream quality is. Currently YouTube is telling me my stream health is good. I've got good stream health. It makes me so happy. Privacy is public. Public. Somebody watching. Anyone else on the YouTube? Let me know. Say hello. Yes, Marsha Carol Smith on the Twitter. Should be good. So there is my red surfboard that I surf with Putin. There's the Batman photo with the blue light. In case Jimmy Dore logs on, we don't want him getting angry. And only one person is watching. We'll go unlisted and we'll go to public. We'll go back to public. See what that says. Changes are saved. Monetize with ads. Cards. Stream options. Let me know if anyone can see it. Because I'm having a hard time here. See, none of you guys are on. Oh! Wait a minute. You're here. All right. Gladys S. is here. Hello, Gladys S. Let me get everything situated. I'm not sure if there's... anyone else can see it, let me know. Oh, there we go. God's favorite atheist. Is the man trying to keep you down? I can hear you, but you're an echo. I'm an echo. Huh. Hold on. Echo. Let's see. Does that make the sound better? Let me know. I've got my microphone on. The audio is echoing a lot. How about now? That's better. I fixed it. Oh, okay, good. All right, so everybody can... okay, good. Gladys and God's favorite atheist. Thank you for joining me. We've got 3 people watching now, and we got the sound fixed. Sound is better now. Awesome, Marsha Smith. Sweet. Well, yeah, sorry for the delay. Had to make a vegan smoothie. This one has organic almond milk that's unsweetened. It has organic bananas, strawberries, and power greens, and vegan protein powder. Yes, I'm a hippie weirdo. I was surfing today. Surfing was good. That's why I'm a little bit late. David Kapoor, Superchat, Surfer Smoother. Yes. Thank you for joining the show. This shirt's set list is from a really cool stand-up comedy show called Set List, where it's a very inventive show. They've done it on TV. Basically, you go on stage and then they put a set list on the screen, and it's stuff you've never seen, and you got to act like it's already stuff in your act. It's really good. I love it. It's improvisation. It's very cool. Christopher Ross is here. Thank you, Christopher. What is there for us to discuss? I don't know. Has anything happened in the news? anything significant happen? You guys can start putting your questions up there so we can get into them. Crazy week. The videos that I've done that, Steve Bannon getting fired, Trump's response to the Nazis in Charlottesville, and then of course there was what happened. Boston was there. They had it's are you an anti-statue, a pro anti-statue XD? I don't know what that means. Christopher Ross, Gladys F. Will Trump last as president until the end of the year? Gladys S. I do not think Trump will last until the end of the year. I think the Republicans are gonna get rid of him because he's threatening them. I don't know if the Democrats are smart enough to capitalize on this. All the Democrats need to do is just connect every single Republican to Trump and say, you are connected to a guy that is a racist, right? You are connected to a guy that is threatening World War III with North Korea. You are a part of this. You are awful. I don't know if the Democrats will be smart enough to do that. But no, I don't think he'll make it through the end of the year. I think he's going to be replaced, and we're going to then have to deal with the insanity of good-looking, clean-cut, very, very affable Mikey Pence and all of his evil nonsense. So that's my question, or that's my answer to your question. Thanks for asking that, Gladys. God's favorite atheist did an interview with her. That's what you get if you do the $25 level. Some of you have signed up for the $25 level, and then I've emailed you to set up a time to do a Skype interview, and I haven't heard back, so please check your email. But you can watch my interview and conversation with God's favorite atheist that came out, I think, Thursday. Your question is, so Trump is a fascist. Trump is a fascist. I did not see that one. I did not see that one coming, but not to worry. It will be alt-right. Thank you, God's favorite atheist. Christopher Ross, okay. Christopher Ross, that was a solid interview, by the way. Thanks. And thank you to God's favorite atheist for showing up with such great questions and research. It was really cool, and anyone can do that at the $25 level, and we can have a really cool conversation like that. I really enjoyed it, and that's one of the things I love about doing this show and building this community is I hear a lot of interesting stuff from you that I didn't know. And I'm learning a lot, so it's very helpful to me. Martin Pedersen, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump quit as opposed to getting impeached so he could, in his eyes, go out in his terms. That's interesting. That's an interesting question, Martin. And here's why I see that point of view. I wonder, though, he's such a narcissist, egomaniac, lunatic, demagogue, who is currently one of the most powerful people on the face of the earth, and I just don't see him giving that up. I really don't. I think, unfortunately, you're applying too much sane logic to the situation. We're not dealing with a sane person. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting if he did do that, but I think he's going to fight tooth and nail like any crazy despotic dictator. I mean, this is like Hitler in the final days of the bunker. Like, he's going to do crazy shit, and we got to be careful. That's my opinion. I hope you're right. Gladys says, I saw it coming. God's favorite atheist. So what do you think will be the grounds to impeach Trump? We have many, God, I don't know. There's so, I mean, where do you begin? They were talking about in December, before he was sworn in, they could have got him on the emollients clause, which is doing business with foreign countries. That's a clause that's in the Constitution so that foreign countries don't do business with American leaders, even if it's a private business that the leader owns, so that they don't have influence on how this country runs. You could get them just on that alone, right there. Just on that alone. I'm sure you could just get any basic, like a kid right out of law school could come up with a half a dozen reasons to get Trump out of there. But one of the things you could do is he's not fit, meaning you could say he's unstable, and you could cite his tweets, you could cite his threats of, North Korea is going to get burned with the fury of all of the whatever he said, which is like, you're threatening to blow the world up. There's a lot of reasons, not to mention all the stuff that they probably already have on him that they're just choosing not to use or whatever. So, I don't know, it's a pick'em, Arabella. Martin Pedersen, by the way, I was very moved by your video about getting fired. Stay true to yourself, sir. Thank you so much, man. That video, it was difficult because that was would have been a decent, not crazy money, but would have paid my bills for like a month. And, losing it was tough, and I had to make the decision of, do I play by their rules and stop doing this show? Do I go back to just being a ha-ha comedian who makes snarky jokes and kind of stays away from the politics so I don't ruffle any feathers? Or do I stay true to this and know that there might be consequences to this? And it's funny, I've talked to a comic recently. It was like, I told him what had happened. He's like, oh man, that's why I don't do anything, because I got to do corporate gigs. A lot of comics make really good money. You do, like, big corporations have private parties and whatever, and they'll pay you really good money. And one night you can make what you make in a week or even a month of shows. It's really good money. And he's like, yeah, I can't mess with that. And he's a guy that's successful, who's been on, Last Comic Standing and all different kinds of stuff. And he said, so that's what I mean. He was just talking all in this like fear, and I got to do that. And I know so many comics that have to operate that way. I don't judge them. I totally get it. You got to pay your bills, and especially comics that are, married with kids or whatever. You got a mortgage, whatever the thing is. So you don't want to ruffle feathers. I totally get that. And I said to him, I go, yeah, that's one option. I said, I chose the other one. He goes, what's that? I said, fuck them. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. And truth be told, if Jimmy Dore, my friend of 20-some years, hadn't gotten successful doing what he was doing, I might take the, I don't want to ruffle any feathers road, but I see what he's doing and how successful he's doing, and I see several things. One, he's saying whatever he wants to say, and he's saying it honestly, and he's saying it truthfully, and he's saying it from a progressive point of view. And he is challenging all those in power without yielding at all. And I give him credit for that. And then I've seen he's built up a nice business, and he has complete control, and that is what any of us as a comedian would ever want. We did the show last week at Flappers in Burbank, and I said, every time we do it, I go, it's fantastic. I go, it's not a comedy show. We say funny things and we get laughs, and it's in a comedy club, but we're making more political statements and points. And within the show, Dave Reinitz and Ron Placone gave these very impassioned made these very impassioned points about what's going on. We were talking specifically about Charlottesville and the reaction of Charlottesville from Trump. And I was like, what other comedy show could you do that? If you got that serious in the middle of a regular comedy show, a good portion of the audience might go, oh, they might get uncomfortable, like, oh, I just came here to have a couple of drinks and laugh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But that crowd was like, yeah, because they're coming for information. They're coming to feel a sense of community. And like the laughing and the good times are a part of it. But it's not the only reason. So I'm like, I just want to do this, and Jimmy's been very encouraging, as been his wife, Stephanie, of like, Graham, just keep doing what you're doing. Stephen O. at the Young Turks has been very encouraging, keep doing what you're doing, because I go, Jimmy, you win. You're selling out a club with your audience, saying what you want to say, hiring the people you want to hire, and what more could anyone want? So, thanks for bringing that up. All right, there's 13 of you. Don't forget, guys, if you go to click the $ button, you can do a super chat. You can pay even as little as a couple bucks, get your question put up in the middle of everything, so that it's a great way to support the show, and then I will absolutely answer your question and say your name. Christopher Ross. Do you think Trump is going to lower the standards of those who will seek the presidency in the future? Yeah, it's already happening. Fucking Kid Rock is running for something. Look at that moron. Like intelligent, thoughtful, educated people that care about this country and want to do the right thing. Well, you're seeing two things. Here's what's happening, actually, I don't want to be too cynical. You're seeing the Kid Rocks and the other people going, I can do this. And then you're seeing some younger, really thoughtful people like Sam Ronan or, I forget her first name, but that woman, Ocasio-Cortez, I believe, that's running in New York. And she was at Standing Rock, and it changed her mind, or changed her view of things. And she was on the Jimmy Dore show, and I followed her a little bit. And they're like, I want to get involved, and they're getting involved for all the right reasons, and they're coming from the right place and an honest place, and they're just seeing all the corruption. So I think you're going to see two things. You're going to see all of these Kardashian Kid Rock morons jump into the fray, but you're also going to see some really highly intelligent people who are caring and thoughtful and progressive, and see all the bullshit and see all this corporate nonsense and the fake media, and we're going to have to deal with both, but hopefully the intelligent people will win out. Revelries, what job did you quit? Well, it wasn't that I quit a job. There's a video that I posted. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see it, and it's I was hired to do this like movie review thing for a big movie review company at Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic Book Convention, and they fired me because they saw my Twitter feed. And I did a whole video about it, so that's what that's in reference. So you can watch the video and check that out. God's Favorite Atheist, do you think we are going to move into a V for Vendetta type situation? We're close. We could move into a V for Vendetta type situation in terms of just a complete totalitarian country. We're already heading in that direction in terms of, under Bush turned us into a surveillance state, and Obama furthered that surveillance state. He didn't disassemble the surveillance state. He made it even more prevalent. So, and we have militarized police. We have that reacts in pretty brutal ways, and it could easily head in that direction where, look, I did a video I put on the Patreon, the $10 Patreon level for, the CIA torture victims actually got a settlement from the CIA. But if you start researching, and if you maybe some of you already have, but what what America has done and how we have tortured people, we're already torturing people. Look, we shot water cannons at people in, 30 below weather up at Standing Rock because they wanted drinkable water. So we're already becoming the V for Vendetta state. The NSA could be watching this video right now. Look what they've done to Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. Chelsea Manning blew the whistle on an illegal war in Yemen, among other things, and went to prison for 7 years. So it's pretty scary. We're kind of already there. It's just, will it get as extreme as V for Vendetta? I hope not. I hope enough people start paying attention and guys like you you all are getting involved and paying attention, and many of you are getting involved on the local level in your local communities, which is huge. I hear you guys go out and go to these events and participate in what's going on in your local communities, and I think it's fantastic. So that's my hope. Gladys S., if one can't say what one wants, what is left for us? Tell Jimmy and your team to come to New York. You guys are heroes. Yeah, Jimmy is putting together a tour. He's going to start touring around, and hopefully I'll be able to do some of them. I don't know how that's going to work. I've told him I'd love to come to whatever show you want to do, and it's up to him on how that works. And because there's costs and logistics and a lot of other stuff to be in place. But who knows? One of the reasons why I'm trying to build this channel up is so that I can just go out and do live shows too. So that's why you guys coming and supporting this and going to the Patreon and doing the Super Chat and building this up is helping me grow. Look what Jimmy, he built his up. He told me, Graham, in like a year or two. He went from 0 to 100,000 some subscribers, and now he's got 250,000, and he's selling out clubs and theaters, and so that's what I want to do, and we're already almost at 4,500 subscribers. I started with 164 subscribers on January 2nd. It's the first day I dropped a video, and I was just me talking, and I didn't have lights or good sound, and then I got these lights, and I got a microphone, and now I got a new laptop, so the new laptop is affording me to now do the podcast. So it's that's what I want to do, grow so that I can travel around as well. Christopher Ross, I hope Kid Rock doesn't win as a Senate position. That will embarrass my state, Michigan, even more than Betsy DeVos did. Yeah, every time we think it's going to get worse, like every week, it's like this is the worst week that Trump has ever had. Compared to what? Like, when is it going to get the worst? It's like, what is he going to do? Just have sex with a puppy? Is that when it's going to get the worst? I mean, like, it's insane. Rivarlis, what's your favorite movie so far this year? Oh, that's a great question. I think right now I'd have to say Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a very powerful movie. I love Christopher Nolan's films. And, we talked about this on my podcast, Comedy Film Nerds. Some people were critical of Dunkirk because they're like, wow, there's no character arc, there's no story. It's just sort of for me personally, I don't know what being in combat is like. I don't. But I've seen it close up from being in Afghanistan. I was on a helicopter that came under fire and it started shooting at people. I've had some rocket attacks and stuff. So, but I will never know what real combat is like unless I was actually in it. So I can't sit here and say, oh, I know what it's like to be in combat. But I do know that war is loud and it's scary. And I thought Dunkirk was fantastic. The camera work was fantastic. And there was one clear objective: survive, just get home. And it didn't need a flashback of like a guy looking, talking, hanging out with his girlfriend, and then come back to him going, oh, I need to get back. Like, it's all understood. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic film, and I hope it wins a lot of Oscars. Hope that answers your question. Kevin, Graham Elwood, what's your take on the Boston Free Speech rally? Ah, boy. That's such a thing because free speech should be protected and people should be allowed to express themselves and all of that. When Nazis are starting to do it and then they threaten and carry out violence as they did in Charlottesville, it's really, I don't want to overreact to where we just go after, the hell with the ACLU. The ACLU should only protect when it's like liberal progressive rights or whatever. I don't want to do that. We debated this, not even debated, but just discussed it. And when we did the Jimmy Dore Show live, and all of us on the panel were sort of like, I'm not sure how to react to this. I really don't have a definitive answer for you, because part of me is like, let them have free speech, but then part of me is like, well, fuck their speech. I don't care what the fuck they have to say, and part of me is like, well, we should come at them with love and support, even though they're evil Nazis. But then it's like, well, we had to, I had two uncles that fought in World War II against fascists and Nazis. So fuck them. Maybe we do need to punch a Nazi in the face. Maybe we just need to come with so much love and love, and that'll win. I believe that love ultimately wins. So I don't know. I'm very conflicted on that. And thank you for asking that question. And I wish I had a more definitive answer for you, but I'm sort of really conflicted and torn about it. Revamp Skunk! Thank you for your show and what you do. Thank you, Revamp Skunk, for supporting this show. That's so awesome. And I really appreciate you throwing some money in, man. Revamp Skunk. Give them a shout out. If they got a channel, follow them. Kevin, you want to see what happened? I have the videos. I'm not sure what videos you're referencing. Maybe you're talking about Boston. If you want to send me links to that, that's cool. Edward Morley, I couldn't make it to the Commons Saturday, but I guess there was only like 40 people on the right. Well, that's good. That's good to know, and that's something too that Dave Reinitz brought up when he was on the panel when he did the Jimmy Dore show with us. He goes, "Look, they planned this thing in Charlottesville for like 8-9 months, and only 500 people showed up." And the point that he was making is, there's not millions and millions of Nazis willing to come out, and there's a handful of them. It doesn't mean they're not dangerous. It doesn't mean it's not scary. It doesn't mean we shouldn't address them. I personally think they need to be put on terror watch list, just like an Islamic fundamentalist is. They're just as dangerous, and they're threatening to do the same things for the same crazy reasons. But the fact there's just a handful of them shows that they're not winning. There's not this groundswell of white nationalists coming up. They tried to make you think that after the election, because Trump did empower them for sure. He empowered him with the xenophobic, racist speech during the campaign, and when he won, they absolutely felt empowered. But that's interesting to know. Christopher Ross. Love you guys and gals. Christopher Ross, thank you so much. I know you sort of joined us recently in the last couple of weeks, and it's been awesome to have you a part of this show and a part of this community. It's so funny. I tell so many people when they ask about this, about how intelligent and thoughtful you are, and I don't think we've had any, like, idiots try to blow this up. I mean, YouTube has a lot of great settings, so I can just block someone and they're gone, but there hasn't been anyone, fuck you, Trump, or you pussy, so that's been really cool, and it's really cool also to see you guys connect with each other, because many of you are starting your own YouTube channels, or you're getting involved in your local community, and to hear you guys talk about the events and the stuff you're going to is really cool to me because it makes me feel good about what I'm doing, that this show has a purpose and is making a positive impact. Because yeah, I wish I had, 1 million subscribers and blah, 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 and that this was paying my bills and everything was fantastic. But, because I often wonder sometimes, like, is me sitting here talking into my computer, my phone, does it fucking matter? Am I doing anything? Is this just bullshit? And your guys' response always lets me know, no, this is important. And you guys are like, hey, Graham, I'm learning a lot. Thanks for posting this. Or I'm run my own business. I have kids or whatever. And so I come to your channel to get informed. So I'm glad I'm able to do that. And you guys are informing me. So Christopher Ross, thank you so much for supporting the show. And I love you. I love all of you guys and gals. You're fantastic. Winky the Bernie bro, hey, howdy ho, how are you? Nope, just as Edward Morley, no matter what, you're putting your views on record, so it's good. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think Winkle, not Winky. I'm sorry, Winkle. Dude, I'm such a jackass. I've fucked this up so many times, Winkle. I'm so sorry. Winkle, I'm sorry. Winkle the Bernie bro. My apologies to you. God's favorite atheist. Thank you for supporting God's favorite atheist. You're fantastic, and you are supporting the show, and it was great interviewing you. God's favorite atheist sounds like she's going to start doing her own channel, which I think is fantastic. Like when Redneck Economics started her channel, talking about specifically West Virginia issues, I think that's important. And God's Favorite Atheist, if you guys haven't watched it, it's a great, I don't even know if I'd call it an interview. It's a really cool conversation. And, you know, I learned a lot about her and her perspectives, and she brought a lot of research about Mike Pence and what he's doing, what has he done, his crazy wingnut right-wing laws that he's trying to pass. So it's really interesting, and it's about a 40-minute conversation, and it's the cool thing about this and the technology. I mean, the technology is such that I can be talking to you guys live, and many of you live all over the place. I mean, literally, some of you are from other parts of the world. So it's like, it's fantastic. And God's Favorite Atheist, you have jumped in and been a part of this community. I really dig it. So thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Christopher Ross, oh my God, you just got paid and you're so generous. Thank you guys. You're not even asking me questions. You're just you're so cool, man. Christopher Ross, go check out whatever you're doing, dude. Whatever you got a website you want people to check out, I'll give you a shout out here. You know, and it's been cool to see like Christopher Ross. It's been cool to see some of you have been watching me since day one, which is great, and some of you have come on in the last couple of months or whatever. You saw me on the Progressives or Jimmy Dore show, or you found me somewhere else, and then some of you guys are just jumping in, and it's really cool because, you know, I won't go into any detail, but I just went through a big kind of a not fun breakup, still not fun, and I've had days where I'm like, oh, I don't want to record video. What's the point? You know, like, oh, it's so stupid. Trump's ruining the world. There's nothing I can do. And then I get emails and stuff from you, and I see your guys' comments in the, you know, under the YouTube videos, and I see your comments on the Patreon page and your emails to me, and you guys inspire me, and I'm like, no, I need to do this, and I'm dropping videos every day no matter what, because it's important, and it's funny, like no matter what I'm going through, sad, depressed, whatever, I start researching an article and I start recording and talking about it, and I post the videos, and I feel really good. I feel good that I'm getting the word out about stuff. I feel good that this community is being built. I feel good about the articles you guys are sending me at Patreon. I feel good about that I'm doing something, and as was just said, I'm on record. You know, I'm on record. You know, if Trump's Gestapo locks me up, at least I'm on record. I'm one of the people that resisted, because the apathy in this country is part of the problem. Now, the corporate state has created a great environment for that. It's so easy to be apathetic. It's so easy to do nothing. It's so easy to not care about anybody. But that's by design. But still, it comes down to the individual, and the individuals that don't want to participate, that just want to sit around and look. There's nothing wrong with, like, if you like playing video games or getting some cocktails or smoke a little weed or whatever, there's nothing wrong with any of that. If that's all you do and you don't do anything else, and you don't want to participate, you don't want to do anything, you know, you don't want to work for a charity or a non-for-profit or just give a couple. I understand everyone's busy, and I understand the system is designed to just make everybody a consumer and a worker and a debtor. So there's not a lot of free time when people are trying to feed their families. Whatever, just keep the lights on themselves. Just hustle to try to get insurance, to like, oh, now I got to do charity work. Now I got to, like, I get that. But even just a little bit of effort, a couple hours a week, can really help people. And your guys' reaction to the community being built, like if I was doing these videos and nobody gave a shit and it was just like 20 views a video, I would have checked. I would have done, like, if after 6 months I had like 500 subscribers and nobody cared, I wouldn't do this. But you guys care, and you guys inspire me to care. You guys inspire me to get involved. And Christopher Ross, you just got paid, and you're giving me some of your paycheck. That makes me want to do this every week. You know, I took 2 weeks off. 2 weeks ago, I took a day off because it was my birthday weekend, but also I was going through a real tough thing. So, and you all were very cool about it. And I look forward to doing this every week. I look forward to doing the videos. I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to meeting some of you after when I do the Jimmy Dore shows. And I will start doing my own shows live. I got to build up the fan base so I can, because that's an economic thing. I got to be able to sell enough tickets if I'm going to travel, because there's airplane tickets and hotels and all that stuff. So, and I got to make enough money to pay my bills if I'm going to spend that kind of time to go out. But we'll get there, man. I've been on the road a lot. I know what that works. I know the economics of it, and we're going to get there. So, Christopher Ross, you're fantastic, and you are generous, not just with money, but with your time. That you guys would take your Sunday afternoons to come hang out with me and everybody. And you guys are inspiring me. So thank you so much. Christopher Ross, you're awesome. Welcome to the community. Let's see. Yeah. Real Jingy, I'm in California. Okay, where are you guys at? Winkle the Bernie Bro, how about the DNC totally failing at fundraising still? 6.9 million on hand to Repubs, 47 million, and DNC has 3 million of debt while IRNC has none. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Winkle, the Bernie Bro, is the Democrats still, each month they're raising less money than the month before. Like, people are not, I mean, people that are just diehard Democrats, for people that I know are like, I'm not giving them money anymore. They're even starting to wake up to the fact that the DNC's got its head in its ass. And yet the DNC, are they learning from that? Then I did the video on they're getting pro-life Democrats. Like, they're so dumb. They will shun progressives. They will slam them. They'll have people like Joy Reid go after them rather than pull in progressives. They just keep losing dollar after dollar after dollar, and they're not learning from it. And I don't have faith in them capitalizing on how awful Trump is and regaining seats in 2018. I don't. And if they do regain seats, how many of the seats that the Democrats regain will be by actual progressives, and how many will be corporate Democrats? That's what I don't have much faith for, and I don't see them learning. I really don't. So, Christopher Ross, all I ask is a hug if I meet any of you in real life. You got it, brother. I will gladly give you a hug, my friend. Winkle, if I give you all a hug, if you subscribe to my channel. You guys should just subscribe to each other's channels anyway. That's cool. And whether you're comfortable with giving or receiving a hug, I'll leave that up to each one of you individually. I'm cool with the hugs. Revamp Skunk, sounds like the DNC is a lost cause. Yeah. I know some people are still like, I want to fight within and change from within, and if they can, God bless them. But I really feel like it's Draft Bernie. I really feel like we just got to start a third party, a Purdy party, and get Bernie in there and get Nina Turner in there, and maybe even Tulsi Gabbard, and go to work. That's what I think. God's favorite atheist, we will bail you out. Thank you. Kevin, the system is a bitch. Yeah, the system is designed for all of us to be in debt and be in pain and all the other shit. Kevin, just technically speaking, it's easier taking over the Republican Party. Yeah, that's what the Tea Party did. But I don't think enough people, like regular rank and file Democrats, realize that if they really just buckled down and refused to give in, like there's still regular Democrats that are like, oh, I don't think purity tests are a good idea because they heard Kamala Harris say it and they think she's great. So they're just like, well, we shouldn't hold purity tests. And I'm just like, they don't get it. They just like, what do you think? Like, you know, I was talking to someone who was a big Hillary supporter and was like, Graham, you know, I don't like, I've seen your stuff and it's not cool what you're saying about Hillary. And I said, before we get into they were like, why are you so? And I said, let's find some common ground before I go into my specifics. I said, I'm for single payer health care. Are you? Yeah. I'm for $15 an hour. Are you? I'm for college for everybody, right? I'm for getting out of the wars. The 8 wars we're in. I'm for reducing the military budget. Yeah, I'm in for that too. I'm in for green technology. So we agreed on all these things, and I said yes. I said this is why I was against Hillary and the corporate Democrats because she voted for the war in Iraq. She voted for the Patriot Act. She on the board of Walmart was against $15 an hour. She was one of the people that helped undermine Obamacare and turn it into Romney Care, which is a Republican health care act. She, as Secretary of State, overthrew democratic countries, was part of bombing the shit out of everybody. And they were like, and I said, these are not the conspiracy of the right wing. Oh, the Clintons have had people killed. Yeah, maybe they have, whatever. But I said, I'm just going on facts. I'm just going on her voting record. I'm just going on the article in the New York Times that said the Clinton Foundation sold uranium to Russian businessmen. So, and they kind of looked at me like, wow, I didn't know that. I said, yeah. And she was there with Obama, who took us from 2 wars to 7, who bailed out the banking industry and created 5.2 million foreclosures. The 2 communities that were hurt the most by this were Black and Latino. She was a part of that. And they were like, wow. So I go to the common ground thing first when I'm talking to like neoliberals, and I say, we probably agree on all these subjects, right? And I said, here's how we need to get them. And Hillary and the corporate Democrats don't have them. And they start to kind of wake up a little bit. They might not wake up that day, but they'll wake up. Let's see. God's Favorite Atheist, thank you. I'll start to post September 1. Yeah, check out our channel. Rhombus isotope, purity tests are checking for principles, not purity. Yeah, that's a great thing to let people know. I'm not checking for purity, I'm checking for principles. I want to know what their principled platform is, not some I'm with her slogan or anyone but him. Because as I've said numerous times, I was around for 8 years of everyone going, anyone but Bush. Anyone but Bush. He's so awful. Anyone but Bush. And I'm not going to do that with Trump. I'm not going to just get a Democrat in there and then we'll be safe because the Democrats have done all these things that have been awful. So I don't buy that policy at all. That's a great point. Rhombus isotope. Edward Mosley, Jimmy says it's perfect. The only people who don't like purity tests can't pass one. Yeah, of course. Kamala Harris says we don't need purity tests because she can't pass one because she let Steve Mnuchin, when he was the head of One West Bank, help commit fraud, and hundreds of thousands of people just in California, myself included, lost their homes because of that crap, and she didn't prosecute him. She's bullshit. That's why she can't pass the purity test. Edward Morley, hashtag Green New Deal, hashtag Peace Not War. Yeah, for real, man. Green New Deal. Get middle America. Get everyone working. The coal mines, what I would do, set up a plant that's going to make wind turbines and solar panels right in the same town where the coal mine is. And say, once this plant comes online, we're closing down the coal mine. Every coal miner gets a job. Immediately. You know, that's what I would do. You'd see a bunch of coal miners go, I don't give a shit about coal anymore. Yeah, let's make the earth clean because here's this good job making green technology. You give people jobs, you give people hope, you give people good health care, you give people college education. Then they'll start listening to you about climate change and inclusion and diversity and LGBTQ, they'll start listening to you. If you just say, fuck you, poor white person, I don't got anything for you, you're just a dumb hillbilly racist, they're going to say, fuck you. And they're going to run to the Republican Party, or they're going to run to a demagogue like Trump. That's what they're going to do. Christopher Ross, you're awesome. Gladys S., yeah, I grew up in Switzerland, started watching TYT News, then saw Jimmy, now here. Fantastic, Gladys. Edward Moore, we sold our only rare earth mine to China. Eddie Nunn, Green Deal, simple name, or clean deal? Yeah, whatever. I mean, the only reason I say Green New Deal is the New Deal was what FDR did, so that might register with some older people or anyone that studied history. That's why I think Green New Deal is not a bad name. Winkle the Bernie Bro, TYT introduced me to Jimmy, and Jimmy's live shows introduced me to you. Right on! Thanks for coming to the live shows. Kevin Graham Elwood, just on waste processing alone in the USA that we normally waste, well, what we normally waste could cover at least half of our power needs. Oh, for sure. First, we got to get more efficient. Then we got to create green technology. We could do both at the same time. We went through this in the state of California. We had a really severe drought that just ended because this past winter was very wet. But we had about a 4 or 5 year very serious drought. And one of the things they started doing was more efficient water use. There's waterless urinals that they started to use. One waterless urinal saves 40,000 gallons of water a year. One. So what if you did that in every public men's bathroom, right? Then there's dual flush toilets. You start doing that. Then there's water reclamation. Just the cities, like the city of Los Angeles, was giving away a rain barrel that had a little spigot at the bottom, and you just put it at the bottom of like your drain pipe if you have a house. So instead of the drain coming from your gutters off your roof just going out into the street, you put it into a rain barrel, and then you can connect a hose at the bottom so that when it fills up, then you can use that water. I had a friend of mine who hooked up a bunch of rain barrels, and during the drought was not using the city's water into like April or May. Now, we're a desert climate, so Southern California doesn't get any rain at all, like very little in the summer. But I was like, wow, that's a great point. So my point in bringing this up is we can do that with electricity. Get people to turn off, save energy, only run their appliances at night, get more energy efficient things, don't leave lights on, all that stuff that we've been told since we were kids, but really put it out there, really promote it, really get people on it. And instead of punish people for following, reward them. You know, you do these things, you get a lower electric bill. Here's all the ways you can say your thing. And then come in with all of this clean energy. So, and renewable energy. So, Jenny Lynn, hey, sexy revolutionaries. Hey, Jenny, what's up? Thanks for joining us. It's great having you here. It's great seeing some of the same faces every week and getting the new ones too. Rhombus isotope, half flush toilets. Yeah, that's the dual flush. So for liquid waste, it flushes less water. And when you have to do more business, it takes on full water. Ew, that's gross. Stop talking about that. But our food system uses so much more cowspiracy. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of the reasons I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat red meat. Well, I'm a pescatarian, I guess. I eat some seafood, but I don't eat red meat is because the amount of water and grain we're spending just for beef and dairy is nuts. It's brutal. God's favorite atheist, wasn't Nestle exporting water from California during the drought? Boy, God's favorite atheist, I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. Nestle's done some gnarly things, like Nestle and like Coca-Cola have done some gnarly things when it comes to water, especially what they do, and this is going to sound shocking, a giant corporation likes to go to third world countries and steal their water. Weird that a big corporation would want to exploit poor people that have no power or say politically or financially. Shocking. Alexander Ostojic, good to have you on the show. God's favorite, yes, yep, they did. Do you have any, Alexander, do you have any articles to support the Nestle taking water out of California during the drought? Could you post those if you have those, just so we can see them? I'd like to see one. Eddie Nunn. They did, God's favorite atheist, and in Michigan as well, I believe. All right, any of you guys, if you got articles, please put them in the thing, because I'd love to see them. Yeah, what a great thing to bring up. And I've said this before, getting back to the green energy thing and the Green New Deal. I was on a plane, I fly around, meet a lot of people, and was in Texas and was talking to this guy that worked for a wind farm company in Texas. Texas guy, not some filthy vegan smoothie drinking surf hippie like me. And he said there's enough wind in the Dakotas to provide 60% of America's energy needs. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. I go, what's the issue? He goes, well, infrastructure. We need to upgrade the grid. He goes, there's the collecting it, the storing it, and the distributing of it. That's what we would need to spend a lot of money to upgrade. We just need someone who's willing to spend all that kind of money. So it's there. Like, none of this is outlandish, sci-fi, future, pie in the sky. It's all here. It's all happening right now. I did an article. I did a video on an article maybe a month or so ago. There's a new solar panel that a company designed that you put on your roof, and it takes moisture from the air and creates drinkable water. Like, if I was a billionaire, that would be on everybody's roof in Flint, Michigan in a heartbeat. And the press I would give off of that, I'd sell 1 million of those panels. And I'd be helping people. That's what I would do if I was a billionaire. Marsha Smith, I love these informal, no agendas Sunday super chats. Thank you, Marsha. I love doing them too. But I have an agenda. A crazy, progressive, political vigilante agenda. I want to turn all of you guys into surfing with Putin puppets. I'm a Kremlin puppet. You didn't know that? Do svidanya, comrade. See, Putin is pulling my strings. Winkle the Bernie bro, it won't let me share web addresses. Okay, then if you are a Patreon backer, send them to me on Patreon or put them in the comments section. When this video becomes archived, when I'm done recording, it takes an hour or so because it's a lot of info. When the video becomes archived, in the comments section, you can put links. That usually goes into spam, but I can then go in and improve the link so everybody can check it out. But again, if you're a Patreon backer, you can just email me through Patreon. Thanks for doing that. Real Jingy, Nestle denies California bottled water factories contribute to drought. The headline to the link I provided that was denied. Oh, awesome. Cool. All right. We know. Yeah, guys, email them to me on Patreon or just put them in the comment section on this. You guys are fantastic. That's awesome. Gladys S. Nestle is the devil. Jenny Lynn, you guys are fantastic. What else? What other? Alexander Stojic, any ideas for reforming the education system? Yeah, just stop having kids that are lazy and dumb and make them study harder. No. There is a great documentary that came out several years ago called, I believe, Searching for Superman, which is about the education system and all of the problems of it. So there's not like a just do this one thing and then everything will be better. First of all, there's a great book called Abundance. And it goes into all of these things that technology and stuff like that are helping potentially change the world. One of the things, this computer scientist who was originally from a very poor area in India put a computer out on the streets and just let kids start to learn and figure it out. And kids started learning just from, and they would work, a group of them would be at a computer working, oh, try this, look at that. And then he did that in several villages and was like, oh my God, this is working. And then put it into schools. Rather than give every kid a computer, what he learned was if you have one computer for like 3 or 4 students, the learning becomes actually a little more exponential because the kids are working together to research the thing. The teacher would say, all right, find me information on this. So they would go to this website and that website, and they would get all this information, and actually the learning became better. So I bring that example up, Alexander, as one way that an alternative teaching method could work. And I think, too, there's so many other things. Obviously, we've cut a lot of money into public schools. We don't want, the American corporate state does not want really educated, engaged people. It wants workers and drones and consumers. So that's, to address that, I think obviously it would be great if we weren't spending, 55% of our budget on war, if we were spending more money on education. So there's the thing. But obviously that can help. But you can't just like, oh, we'll just throw a bunch of money at it. Where the money is being spent, how it's being spent. I would love to sit down with a bunch of educators and people doing different new types of education and see what's working and start implementing it. Because the education system in America was designed to create factory workers. The first period, second period, third period, that's a shift at a factory. The whistle blows and you change, instead of, you were putting the steering wheel on the thing, now you put the tire on the thing, right? So that's what it was designed for. So we need to kind of get rid of that system of just creating factory shift workers and get people into being actual free thinkers. Not that we can't have industrialized jobs, as I've talked about. The Green New Deal, we can give a lot of people work. But this idea, too, that the manual labor person isn't that smart. Like, if you get a good college degree, then you don't do that. And it's not, there's so many other countries where the street cleaner, everyone else are highly educated and very well-read people. You could lay brick and be extremely well-read and thoughtful and intelligent. And I think we should encourage that everywhere. So there's a lot of different things. We kind of got to redo the whole structure. We need to try a lot of alternative educational methods. And obviously, we need to stop spending all our money on war and really help this country in a number of ways. But that's a great question. Letty... Gladys says, some abusive homes are due to because our system is teaching us to be consumers. If we can't afford it, we get frustrated. Wage gaps between rich and poor. Yeah, and then you're stressed out about money. And that creates a fight. That creates a tense home. That creates a whatever. That's a hard environment to be in. I've been in those. I've had tough money situations recently, and I've been like, oh, man, But that's the thing. We're designed, and again, it just keeps us stressed about how we're going to get that next dollar, because if we're stressed about how we're going to get that next dollar, we're not sitting around paying attention and go, oh, those in power are screwing us all over. It's just, I got to get some money. I got to get some money to pay my bills. Eddie Nunn, on a side note, I finally be starting up my blog again, starting with my post on my depression and anxiety during these times where I've been afraid to comment on anything political. Cool, Eddie. Go support Eddie's blog, and good for you for being upfront and honest about depression and anxiety. In my documentary, Earbuds, the podcasting documentary that is available September 12th on iTunes and Google and VOD and all that stuff, one of the things we cover in it is people who are suffering from depression and mental illness and stuff, and how listening to podcasts has helped them. And I interviewed several people who weren't performers. They were just regular people that liked podcasts who were brave enough to speak on camera to a movie that's going to be viewed all over the world. And I really am so in awe of them because it's one thing for a performer to speak about a personal thing they've struggled with. I mean, that's great, and that takes a lot of bravery. But if you're a professional entertainer like I am, that's sort of part of the process. Like, you talk about it on stage, or you write about it, or you put it into a movie or whatever. So to see people that aren't performers, that aren't used to being on camera or putting themselves out there publicly talking about that, I think is important, because what you're doing, and if you talk about it honestly, Eddie, is you're then, somebody else might be struggling the way you have, and they, as you know, when you suffer from depression and anxiety, you feel alone, you feel isolated, you feel like you're the only one going through it, and nobody gets it. And there are people, obviously, when you go through stuff, I've had this happen personally, where whatever, you're going through something mentally or emotionally, and if somebody close to you doesn't get it, it really makes it hard. Or if they're just like, ugh, it's not that big of a deal, or get over it, or whatever, it really makes it challenging. So finding people out there in the world, online, through a blog or whatever, that are going through what you're going through, you can help them, and it also can be support for you. So that's fantastic for doing that. Gonna have to... I got to get going soon, guys. But God's favorite atheist, our country is one big abusive home. Oh boy, you got that right. This country is it's like living in an alcoholic household, where there's alcoholic, abusive people running the house, and they're crazy, and they change their mind, and there's violence, and one day they love you, and the next day they're fucking crazy and nuts and saying shitty things to you or hitting you or whatever. It's brutal. That's so accurate. Sadly, you're very correct. And everyone seems to agree with you on this chat. Christopher Ross and Jenny Lynn, how are you? Rhombus Isotope, hey, cheer up is the worst one. Yeah, man. So I did an interview with Paul Gilmartin, who does a podcast called Mental Illness Happy Hour. I'm going to put this in the thing. And he's a good friend of mine. He's a comedian who's had to deal with a lot of his own depression and mental illness and issues, and he goes to support groups and stuff like that. And one of the things he says in Earbuds, which I'm obviously trying to promote that movie, but if you're dealing with mental illness, I think it's something you should watch, because one of the things he said is, like the hey, cheer up thing that you just mentioned, he goes, people who think clinical depression is the same as situational sadness, are like people who think they know what Italy is like by going to the Olive Garden. So that's Paul Gilmartin's, and I would highly suggest checking out his podcast, Mental Illness Happy Hour. He said he's not a therapist, he's not a professional, he's just a waiting room that doesn't suck, and he really talks, and he has comedians on there, and he has therapists and all different kinds of people. Mental Illness Happy Hour, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a fantastic podcast to check out. God's favorite atheist, I feel like it's more of a dry drunk thing. All the anger and violence, none of the funny drunk story, LOL. Yeah. All right, you guys, I got to wrap it up and go. You guys have been just fantastic as always. Christopher Ross, man, that was huge. Putting that $50 in there. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, Christopher, and it's great seeing everybody connect on this. God's favorite atheist, thank you so much for supporting the show. Again, she's starting her own YouTube channel, and watch my interview, discussion with her. If you haven't watched it already, it's fantastic. She brings in a lot of great points. Christopher Ross again, twice. Boom! Chris Ross on payday. Revamp Scump, thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and everybody else, Jenny Lynn, Jeremy Chase, good to help. Good to have you here, Real Jingy, Rhombus Isotope, Winkle, the Bernie Bro, Marcia Smith. You guys are so great, from all of you listening all over the world. And I really, Eddie Nunn, and it's it's really cool that you guys are doing this, Edward Morley and the 30-some of you that are watching. But again, big shout-outs, Christopher Ross, God Favorite Atheist, and Revamp Skunk for supporting the show. You guys are fantastic. I put up a bunch of new bonus stuff on the Patreon. If you're not a Patreon, I put a little bonus video of just some cool music I went and saw live. What? Christopher Ross again? Dude! Thank you! Fantastic. Wow. And yeah, special hug for all you guys. You guys are awesome. Christopher Ross, dude. You're, yeah, man. Big hugs whenever I see you, wherever you live. You're fantastic. I don't drink. I'm completely sober, Christopher Ross, but thank you. I'll go have a sparkling water or something like that. You guys, yeah, the eclipse is tomorrow. Don't injure your eyes. Get the special glasses. You even watching it on your iPhone or whatever can damage your eyes. If you're going to look, don't look directly at it. Get the special eyewear. Go online and figure out what you got to do. Don't hurt your eyes, you guys, for the solar eclipse. Please, 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 please. Christopher Ross, you're fantastic. You guys are great. I love this community, and you know, you're helping me feel good about what I'm doing. You're helping me get through a kind of a tough time right now, and I really cannot say enough how much gratitude I have for all of you. So you guys are great, and Christopher Ross, above and beyond, dude. Boom, shakalak. Yeah, drinks are on. Haley Muniz said drinks are on, Christopher. I'll be wearing welding goggles just as effective. Well, that's good. Good. All right. All right, you guys, have a fantastic Sunday. As I will check my calendar right now before I go to make sure next week I can commit. Looks like August 27th is right on. So August 27th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Eddie Nunn, I look forward to your podcast. But one hurdle at a time. Yeah, dude. Just take that first step. I'll leave you with this. When I was thinking about starting this channel in like November, December, I was talking to Jimmy Dore. I was like, I don't have the money to buy. Should I wait till I have the money to buy all this equipment? He goes, no, man, just start talking into your phone. And that's what I started doing. Keep it simple and let it grow slowly when you have the time and the money to put more time into it. So I've grown this channel immensely from when I was just, if you watch the first videos from January, there's shitty lighting, there's shitty sound, and I had an old like iPhone 5 or something like that I was talking on, and everything is better now, and it's because I've grown it slowly. So 11 p.m. in the UK. All right, guys, you're fantastic. And you guys are great. Big hugs and shout outs to everybody. Aloha, which means hello, goodbye, and I love you. Mahalo. And remember the buffering. Thank you, Christopher Ross. You're fantastic. God's favorite atheist. And Revamp Skunk. Chris Ross. Boom. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Graham Elwood. I'm the Political Vigilante. And remember, make Gotham great again. That was a little crazy. We'll end it nice. Thanks, guys. Have a great Sunday.